Hey everyone, welcome back to your stimulus update. Now, when it comes to the stimulus news right now, there are only three things that even matter anymore. Once again, everybody, welcome back to your stimulus update for today, Friday, September 11th. Like I said, only three things matter, so let's go ahead and get right into it. The first thing is this Senate bill. Now, I know this is all over the news. We've all heard about it. The fact that this bill didn't include much, and then it's not even going to get past the Senate anymore. I want to talk about the fact that there's been some YouTubers out there who have been spreading around misinformation, and one of them was the fact that I was telling you guys that this was a skinny bill. Don't expect much from it. It's not going to include more stimulus checks. And then I had people commenting on my channel that this was fake and you don't know what you're talking about. It's going to have checks in it probably, and it's not a skinny bill. And I didn't even know where this was coming from. And so I did a little bit of research. I ended up finding the channel, and wouldn't you believe it? The guy was actually saying in a weird, eclectic way that individuals that are calling this a skinny bill, don't listen to them. And then the bill came out. And the bill was the skinniest bill I've ever seen. Matter of fact, it was reported that it might be $500 to $700 billion. It was $300 billion. No stimulus checks. It was ridiculous in what it actually included. And this individual that was telling you not to listen to YouTubers who are calling it a skinny bill completely misled you, made you think that something was going to happen, misled you to think that there could be stimulus checks in it when we were telling you there wasn't going to be any. And we also told you, don't worry about it. This bill isn't going anywhere. We were correct on all fronts. Then I went back to listen to this guy's channel, see his updated video. Maybe he would just recognize that. He acts as if he never said it. He comes out and he's like, well, we never thought that this would be the bill. We never thought this. Nonsense. I listened to your video before where you were pushing this out to people and telling them not to listen to those individuals. I'm just saying this. Be careful. This Senate bill that was just introduced never was a thing. It was never going to be a thing. We always told you that it was just the Senate Republicans trying to proposition themselves to introduce a bill and get something going on. And that's all it is. It didn't even work. So what's the next thing that matters? The next thing, and by the way, the final thing that matters is the one that really matters. If you want to know if there's a possibility to get a stimulus check, it's the final thing I'm going to tell you, because in my opinion, this is the way you're probably going to get it if it's going to happen at all. So the next thing that matters is the continued negotiations between Steven Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi. Yes, I know you're tired of hearing about these two because they're not coming to an agreement. The fact of the matter is this is one of the best ways for us to still get something done. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, for political reasons, may never agree to any bill, because why would you want to do that just before an election? All of that stimulus money going out before an election might be bad for the Democrats, so maybe she won't want to relent. Maybe she'll just stay at the $2.2 trillion number, and if Republicans don't move up, she ain't doing a darn thing, because it doesn't make sense for her to do so. Steven Mnuchin, is he going to stick at the $1.3 trillion? I told you I thought it made sense for Donald Trump to tell him to move up to $2, especially during election year. That hasn't happened. Apparently, Donald Trump doesn't listen to According to Vin, because if there was some sense there, and listen, if you're a Donald Trump fan, trust me, I'm not trying to necessarily talk the guy down or anything like that, but if he had a little bit of sense, he would tell Steven Mnuchin to come up to $2 trillion right before the election's going to hit, get the stimulus money out to people. It makes political sense. Not only political sense, but it's just smart, and it's just wise to do for the American economy and the American people. So we need to keep a close eye on the continued meetings between Nancy Pelosi and Steven Mnuchin. That is the next place where we could possibly see some movement. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. The final one is Donald Trump and the executive order. There is news floating around that Donald Trump could possibly do an executive order where he single-handedly sends out more stimulus checks to the American people. He says that there's $300 billion in funding from the previous acts, in particular the CARES Act, where he could take that funding and by executive order switch it, send it off as stimulus payments to the American people. Now, a lot of people say he can't do that. I'm not really sure. I think he technically can do that. The issue is going to come up whether or not the legislative body wants to appeal it. That's where the problem comes. Not whether or not he can write the executive order. He can actually technically do that, but will the Congress appeal the order? That's the big news. If he wrote one sending out checks to the American people, I could never foresee the Congress, specifically the Democrats, actually appealing such a thing. It would come off so bad. So if Donald Trump really wants to make some waves, he would send off this executive order, and he might just do that. If not for anything, this guy is a wild card. So you never know what he's going to do. That could be something. One day he's just up at night and he says, you know what? Tomorrow, executive order. He does it, and then the world opens its eyes and wonders, say, okay, he really did this. Now what's going to happen? Are we going to see the appeal? Probably not. I couldn't see how somebody would appeal such an amazing thing for most of the American people. So that's probably the number one way we might actually see this happen if Steven Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi can't come to a deal. And the only other possible way we're going to see another stimulus check is after the election is over and the dust has settled, the House is figured out, the Senate's figured out, and the new presidency's figured out. It is possible in January or February this will be brought back up by either a new administration, current administration, different representation in the House or Senate, and we might finally see a bill that way. But we're going to keep our eyes fixed on the things that really matter and not misinform you about the things that don't, just to string you along. By the way, my wife is doing some interesting things on her channel. This is a time lapse. Her channel is going to include interesting videos of our family, and we're doing some gardening work. And if you want to see some of that stuff and some of the pictures of the new dog we're getting, check out her channel. I'll leave a link in the description below. You guys are awesome and have been amazing since the beginning. I'm going to continue to keep you guys informed the way that you deserve to be. As always, I will catch you guys next time.